Hey guys, welcome to your channel. I am going to discuss some important Hindu articles from today's Hindu newspaper. One important article is the need for judicial restraint. This article throws light on the recent trend of judiciary, where some judicial judgments are based on much more judicial activism. The article actually expresses that the task of the Indian judiciary is not to make law, but to become a protector of law in maximum context. But recently, in some cases, judiciary has extended her line, and beyond her power, it has given some kind of judgments which are based on judicial activism. Judgments based on judicial activism is not bad, but the thing is that in some cases it has also breached the line of separation of power. Separation of power means what? It has given opinion, it has given judgments, or it has directed some legislature where it has not to be directed. Means in some cases judiciary has given some kind of opinion in some judgments which becomes a law, but such kind of making law is not the task of judiciary, because it is the competent legislature where legislature has to make law, but it has been replaced by the judiciary, where judiciary has taken the task of making law. This is the core of the article actually here. To understand the article, we need to know some terms: judicial activism, judicial review, and separation of power. Judicial activism is not derived from the constitution. Judicial activism is a judicial innovation where judges give their judgments based on their own individual opinion, based on the public opinion, and based on the views of society. For example, collegium system. Collegium system is not derived from the constitution. It is not written under constitution. Collegium judgment is derived from the second and third judges' cases of the Supreme Court. It is a perfect example of judicial activism, but all the judgments based on judicial activism are not always bad. Some judgments are really acceptable. Controversy comes at the point when judgments actually cross the line of separation of power. Right. So recently, as per the article, the core of the article is that recently Indian judiciary has become a lawmaker rather than a protector of law. The article has also brought the context of two different schools of thought. These are equally important for GS4 paper. One is positive jurisprudence. Jeremy Bentham, John Austin are some propagators of this school of theory. You should also read Jeremy Bentham's utility theory for GS4 paper. As for this school of thought, law is to be distinguished from morality and religion. That means law has its own place, while applying law, a judge has to be separated himself from the viewpoint of society and from the viewpoint of morality or religion. If law is mixed with morality and religion, law will lose its sanctity. As per these views, lawmaking is the work of the competent authority, legislature. Lawmaking is not the duty of the judiciary. That is why judges have to give opinion only on the basis of law, not from the viewpoint of society. And this school of thought actually nullifies the necessity of judicial activism. And what is the another school of thought? It is a sociological jurisprudence originated in Europe and United States. As per this theory, the wide discretionary power is given to judges to make laws. That means under this theory, judges can use their individual opinion and their personal perspectives or opinions of society while giving the judgments. When we write answers for UPSC, we have to use a balanced viewpoint. We cannot one-sidedly prove wrong any theory, or we cannot one-sidedly make effective any one theory. Each theory has its own merits and demerits. Under Indian Constitution, judiciary is the ultimate protector of law. What is the one demerit of positive jurisprudence is that here law becomes very stagnant. The necessity of law is that to fulfill the changing demands of the society. In this 21st century, a law made 50 or 100 years back cannot be always acceptable. For example, we are seeing that Official Secrecy Act 1921, which was made in the colonial period, still it is applicable, and what kind of demerit, what kind of controversy, what kind of civil society problems it has brought. In this way, a law cannot be always, a law will be stagnant if it all does not respect to the society, if that does not respect to the changing views of the society, right? But the problem is that giving respect to the social views, giving respect to the changing demand of the society is not good. But judiciary has not to cross the line. And what is this cross the line? Cross the line means what? When there is a chance of the legislature to make law, their judiciary should not in that case, judiciary should not make law. Judiciary can direct legislature, or judiciary can direct government that there is an importance of making law in this sense. But in some cases, which are very explicitly demarcated to legislature, which comes under the exclusive horizon of legislature, in some cases, if judiciary makes law, then it should not project the judiciary in a good way. This is the problem actually. This is the controversy. Using judicial activism is not bad always, but the thing is that it should be exceptional and in extraordinary situations where the matter comes of public importance, and public importance also in such a way that it should be to cope up with the changing demands of society. For example, adultery, Section 377. These are not directly derived from the Indian Constitution, right? This section, homosexuality is not mentioned in Constitution, adultery is not mentioned in Constitution. Here, judiciary has applied judicial activism. These are quite acceptable and epoch-making judgments. They are also based on judicial activism, but they are up to here the judiciary has respected the views of society to fulfill the required demands of society. Right, but in some extraordinary cases, in some cases actually, judiciary has given some judgments actually where it is not under the horizon of judiciary. It could have been done better by the legislature. If in some cases judiciary gives judgments, if in some cases judiciary actually interferes, then it's something. It seems that judiciary has judiciary has overpowering the work of the legislature. So you find mains question from this article actually. This is a very important article, and you can prepare a question, you can form a question that what are the recent trends of Indian judiciary where the judiciary has breached the line of separation of power, or what do you mean by judicial activism? Narrate the recent judgments of Supreme Court where judicial activism is explicitly seen. Yeah, you can find a question. Critically analyze the judicial activism in recent perspectives with reference to the Supreme Court judgment. Another important article is All Out at Sea. This article throws light on the India's recent bilateral and trilateral naval exercises in Indian Ocean and its merits and demerits, or its advantages. Here there are some terms which you have to view from the prelims point of view, and this is quite map-based question but very important question. For example, Diego Garcia. Recently, India, USA has exercises naval exercises here. Diego Garcia, it comprises of 60 islands. Chagos Island, which is recently in news, is also here, and it is a atoll. Atoll, you all know, it is a kind of coral reef, and it is situated in Britain Indian Ocean territory. So this is important. In that, Baruna, Groove Shell, and Qingdao. It is a port city in China bordered by Yellow Sea, where recently India and USA has made naval exercises. So this is important. Again, Djibouti. Djibouti is a very strategic importance in South Africa, where both India and China is trying to occupy dominant power. So these are important. Try to find out the places in maps. Then coming to the topic, then what are some advantages of such kind of naval exercises? Then first importance is that to counter China in Belt Route Initiative and People's Liberation Army. People's Liberation Army by China is trying to justify her dominant power in Indian Ocean, South China Sea, as well in Djibouti. So, such kind of bilateral and trilateral exercises of India will be quite will be quite effective to counter this People Liberation Army. In that way, Djibouti is a very typical point, very strategic point of Belt Route Initiative of China. Right. So India's such measures, such naval exercises will be might if be effective in China. Might effective to counter China in Belt Route Initiative. Again, commercial investment, such kind of naval exercises will pave the route for trade and commerce in the through the ocean. Regional dynamics. Regional dynamics means what? There are various countries bordered by ocean like Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Japan. Right, such kind of naval exercises will change the power vacuum of the regional politics. A regional scenario, right? India can effectively engage with the regional countries throughout such kind of naval exercises. In that way, South China Sea, we all know that what is China's strategy. China is going to be very aggressive in South China Sea. India, along with Japan, can effectively counter China's move in such cases. In that way, engagement in Pacific Ocean. Till now, India is much more engaged in Indian Ocean because India's trade is much more with the West, but it regime shift from the West to East in India Pacific Ocean will give India a vast opportunity of trade and regional politics to be engaged in this region. Countering piracy and terrorism, helping disaster management. I think these 2 points are very understandable to all of you. How a good naval exercise can help the countries to counter piracy, terrorism, and help disaster management. The article also throws light on some points where India's naval exercises need improvement. Some points are essentially defensive, means till now India's move or India's naval exercises are essentially defensive. They are not successful in leveraging partnership for strategic gains. That means what? India has not been able to exercise her naval exercises beyond defensive point. India has not been able to effectively engage with regional parties throughout naval exercises. Right. So India needs improvements through that. India should effectively engage with the parties, regional parties bordered by the ocean throughout such kind of naval exercises. And thereby India should effectively influence the politics, or India should effectively influence the power dynamics of regional parties or regional countries bordered by the ocean. Right. So beyond the defensive point, India should open herself to changing the socio-political dynamics of the countries bordered by the ocean. Again, another thing is that India's inability to militarize the quadrilateral groupings or to expand naval operations in West Pacific, the power equation with China remains skewed in favor of China. That means what? Because of the India's inability to effectively militarize the West Pacific Ocean, still India's naval exercises India's naval exercises are not effective in countering China. That means what? India should much more engage herself in West Pacific Ocean. Until and unless India should effectively justify her position in West Pacific Ocean, till then India cannot claim her naval exercises to counter China. If India wants to justify her naval exercises to counter China, then India must have to effectively deal with West Pacific Ocean. India must have to establish her military presence in West Pacific Ocean. So these are some points where India needs improvements. Besides these, there is some context in today's Hindu article, the Global Drug Survey, cannabis is a drug. So the global drug survey, though it is not a fulfilled or wholesome note, but you can prepare your note from your own perspective to as a which you can use as a referral point in your ethics paper, in your GS1 society, or in any essay topic where you find some kind of youth problems, youth problems faced by the new generation. Right, in this the global drug survey, though you cannot prepare a wholesome note, but you can put this note in from some perspective. You can prepare note from this topic to refer it in your relevant answer.